call this meeting to order. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Nixon.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lindsay.
Present.
Councilor Curry.
Here.
Councilor Howe.
Here.
Councilor Humbert. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there also a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't think we have any requests from Greg. Okay.
Nope.
You're our audience this evening. Any announcements or proclamations from anyone? No? Then we'll go into reports. Do any
I'm sorry,
councilors?
Mayor. I was gonna announce the Memorial Day weekend activities at the memorial.
Okay,
Open all day Saturday and Sunday for regular visitors, and 11 a.m. Monday for the ceremony.
do they do the flag ceremony? Do they do the flag on Memorial
If they're doing it, it'll be at 9 o'clock
At 9?
on Monday. Yeah, thank you.
Day? And the actual ceremony is at 11?
11.
Thank you. Do any counselors have anybody report? Then we'll go
They changed
to,
the beautification.
oh, okay.
They changed the beautification day to Saturday the 3rd. It's gonna be meeting here at 8:30 a.m.
Just spring cleanup because of the mud and the rain. I don't know if we'll be any better on the 2nd, but we're supposed to get some pretty warm days in the next couple of weeks, so it might be fruitful. On that day, the ladies didn't want to wear their mud boots. So, and there's a lot of them that get out and pick up trash. We'll ask for our manager's report.
Mayor and council, I have a few things. First, tomorrow I will be presenting at a Northeastern Regional Transportation Planning Organization, or NERPTO, a couple of funding requests for our local government road funds. First one is for the Valley Road and CS Ranch Road intersection. That's primarily a drainage issue. The request is going to be for $581,000. The other one is for Country Club Drive resurfacing, and that's from State Road 34, about 2,500 feet off the road. That request is going to be for $938,000 total project cost. So I don't know whether they will actually determine the awards tomorrow. The meeting is for all the members to rate and rank the projects that are presented. So I may have a pretty good idea. The other things are, we are preparing for a couple of events. The Balloons Over Angel Fire has at least 35 balloons signed up for Father's Day weekend for that event. We're also getting ready for the second annual 4th of July parade. In our community center, we've completed the installation of new toilets and a new drinking fountain, which was needed. The lower parking lot at the community center will be paved in June, so that should happen before fiscal year end. And the day camp starts June 12th and runs through August 4th at the community center. First softball games are scheduled for June 3rd, that's the end of the season. And then the Trash to Treasures event will take place at the center on July 1st and 2nd. Finally, I'm going to be having some planning meetings with our department heads. So we can start determining priorities and developing plans to address our most critical needs. I know that you all hear complaints. Now that I've been here a while, I'm hearing the same ones. So we're gonna develop strategies and managing our resources there. For example, in departments where we're short-staffed, we may contract out some services to get the things done because we save that money on salaries. So we should use it wisely and we'll develop plans for all that. That's gonna be one of the first steps in our progress. And I hope to update you with quality, good news, of course, at every meeting. So once these plans are developed, I'll let you know what they are. I'll let you know how we're gonna accomplish them. And my goal is to actually set some timelines for them. And when it comes to construction or anything like that, you know what a short season we have. I recognize that and we're gonna deal with it. That doesn't mean everything is pleasant, but the email that I did send out today, it said, bring me your worst headaches first. The good things can wait. The bad things will be a priority. My report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one staff report today, and we'll go straight to give the floor to Kimberly.
Sorry, I'm late. Just finishing up. So what I have for you all is a brief budget summary. This isn't the finalized one that will be presented to you on Monday or next Tuesday. We are still waiting on a few things regarding the salaries, if the insurance premiums are going to increase or not, as well as doing the cost of living increase. So I do have it broken down by, the first page you're gonna see is our revenue and expenses for this current year and where we are today. Then it has the breakdown of which each fund and department, what's all on the general fund. And the next one would be our revenues, where our revenues are comprised from, with our taxes, permit fees, license registrations, donations, inspections, and special events. I do know we have been talking with Santos and P&Z, and he is wanting to increase some of the P&Z fees. So I do anticipate that those numbers for the revenue for P&Z will increase. And then each of these ones is just gonna have the breakdown for what we have projected of what our anticipated revenues will be at next year. So a total of the general fund revenue would be $8 million. That may change because our property tax and GRT both have significantly increased over the last few years. So I'll have more of an accurate total for our next meeting. The next one is gonna be our revenue and our debt load. This will have all of our general fund debts that we have and the anticipated principal and interest payments that we'll have for next year. Based off of our revenue, we would still be very healthy in the budget. The salaries, like I mentioned with the salaries, it's really not like last year's numbers because we're still working on those, so I'll have a more updated one for you guys all on that, and that's for everybody across the board. On the water, wastewater department, this is the breakdown. It shows their debt service of what they will have to pay for next year. Again, the employee salaries are based off of this current year's budgeted numbers, and on the operational expenses. So based off the anticipated revenue and anticipated expenses, it does show that that budget would still remain in the black at the end of the year. For solid waste, I know this one is gonna change. I've spoken with Ben about increasing his rates for all across the board for solid waste to fill the void of wildfire protection, moving to a wildland fee. So it does show that we would be in the red at the end of the year, but I do plan to work with him and his admin so we can make sure that we do increase them significantly to make up for that difference of losing that part of their revenue. And, and I also know, I think some of his positions will change since he doesn't have the SLASH program. I don't believe he'll need as many employees. So that again will be a cost of, a savings cost right there. The GO bonds, this just shows what we have projected for our taxes, the property taxes, the bond proceeds that we do anticipate to receive, and then the debt service for all of our current GO bonds with the principal, interest, and admin fees that will be due for the next fiscal year. It does show we would still be in the black on that one. The capital projects, that one's pretty much the same. That'll be for our new bond, showing what we get, what would be towards professional services and the other contractual services. Okay, next is the public safety building. So this is, of course, they do have the debt service that pays towards the building, public safety building for that loan. And then it's split between police and fire. So like each be receiving 58,500. That number may increase. I'm still waiting on a few more things, but that it did go up significantly from prior year. So I do anticipate it to go up again this year. I still just need to get a few more numbers from the state on that one. Correction fees has been the same about, last couple of years. The judge didn't anticipate any change in that. The emergency services, so we're not for sure on how much we are gonna be receiving for the state EMS grant. I spoke with Chief Bobick today. Seems it may be a significant increase, but we don't have anything for sure yet, so we just base it off of last year's numbers. So we know for sure we're gonna get that. The state fire fund, so we do anticipate getting about over 300,000 for the current fiscal year and a rollover about 180. So that's what we've had the budget of 552,000. And then, of course, the debt service for that, and then the other operational expenses for that. So that would still end in the black as well. Law enforcement, the LEPF fund, so that one is a huge increase from last year. It's about double. So when we balance it out, and Chief Liz balanced it out to pretty much use it all, and that's his goal, is to kind of use up all of it, so we don't have to roll over or carry anything over for the next fiscal year. And lodger's tax. So lodger's tax revenue, I went really low. So 650,000, but I can tell you right now, as of our third quarter report, we have about 900,000 in lodger's tax that we have received. So I'm going to work on those because we have a significant increase over the last 3 years on lodger's tax, and it just keeps going up higher. And of course, any rollover that we'll have. So I do anticipate that money to go, or that amount to go up higher. But I do know, speaking with Tammy, that there are some additional events that she's wanting to look into of maybe, doing in next fiscal year, and really try and spend as much of that money as we can. And then sports and rec fee, this pretty much just goes to pay the debt service for the Allen Fields. I did look, and that loan, it does not, we are still on schedule to pay it off. I looked to see if it was early. I couldn't find anything else showing. I mean, I emailed our account specialist with NMSA to see if we can start, since we have so much in this fund, if we can start paying more than what is due, so we can start paying down that principal. Haven't heard back from her yet, but I know that they're super busy at this time as well. The motor vehicle division, that one just based on pretty much about the same as last year. I do know we are going to be, we've talked of moving Heather into the manager position for MVD, which I think all of us have supported that. She has really stepped up in that position, and I've been working with Lewis to make sure we get that budgeted, and of course have the fees and everything to support that increase in her pay and her position. And then village overhead, I did, so operational expenses, this is gonna be, for all of our legal, internet, professional services, supplies, utilities, insurances, and any other miscellaneous non-discretionary funds. So this is where we house for everyone across the village outside of solid waste and water, wastewater, and wildland. This is where we pay, for all of our office supplies, building supplies, all the utilities, electrical, propane, all of that, all come out of this fund. So this will see a lot larger expenses for this than any of the other funds. Mayor and council stayed the same. You guys didn't really spend a lot of your money this year, so I hope you can take more classes next year.
They offer more classes.
Yeah, because they could offer them. And court is about the same. They did have a little bit increase just to be able to account for the alternate judge when Judge Hill is out. But it was only about a few thousand increase from last year. For the administration, so this would be the administration, manager, clerk, procurement, grants, HR, code enforcement and planning and zoning. So planning and zoning, it's not part of our salary and benefits, it's based on the contract with Santos. So that's not gonna be in the employee salaries. That's, I believe, part of the operational expenses. I'll have to double check that one. And finance, I do know, and one thing I do wanna mention, all departments, all of their payroll budgets are maybe only spent about half since the third quarter, for up to the third quarter. So everyone still has plenty in their budgets. So I don't anticipate, any kind of, the red on any of them. The Allen Fields operation, so this just shows operational costs. They did include some more repairs for dugouts and I believe some more turf repair on that. So it's a little bit of an increase from the prior year. And community center, so I know Shay has a lot of plans. They're working on doing the phase 1 of the playground, I think. And so what she wants in this year, so they went out for bid.
She got the $80,000 to do that.
Yes, but so she has that included in here as the expenses, but of course we have the 80,000, that'll cover that
And then
portion.
the lower parking lot that
Yes.
is referring to,
Yeah.
correct.
And then she also, I can't think of the name offhand, but there's like a youth empowerment program where if she employees, if they meet the criteria, then they'll be reimbursed for whatever, whatever cost we take, they reimburse us for that.
And she wants to do that for the summer.
Mhm. I believe for the community garden, I think is what she told me, yeah. And police is gonna change a little bit. We have a few different, things that we're working on right now. Manager Morris and myself and Chief Lewis have talked about having the police as well as the fire department on a completely separate pay scale than what we currently have. Due to their certifications that are required for their jobs and due to their positions, we felt that it was necessary to have them on a separate pay scale. So it's not, they're not administration where we all house. So we're working on those. We've also talked about some other benefits that'll help retain law enforcement and fire. We're still working out the details. I'll have more information for you guys on next week's meeting. Oh, and one thing on the police, I did want to mention, the Chief Lewis will probably talk better about it, but there's a system that he's really wanted and he talked to them, spoke with the company. The cost of it was over 100,000 and he talked them down to 55,000 and it's like state of the art. We're the first rural community to be able to purchase that. So we're excited to be able to get that. Police hardly has asked for anything in the last few years that I've worked on budget. And I felt that it'd be great and set the precedence for other smaller communities. And Chief Lewis worked really hard to be able to get that for us. So I thought that was great. And then emergency managing, I think that one stayed the same as last year, just the 10,000. And then for wildfire funds. So this, we're working out, I don't have what our anticipated revenues are, being that we brought in a little under $1 million from the fires last year. I'm trying to work to make sure we budget conservatively. I do anticipate to see much more revenue this year, especially with having 2 engine bosses, so we can have 2 teams deployed at the same time, as well as taking over the wildfire protection and doing the slash. So not only are they working all year long, but they're bringing in the revenue from that as well as the revenue from the fires. So I do anticipate that this is going to be a very, very healthy fund next year. And streets is about the same. I don't believe Richard really asked for much outside of what he typically does ask to work with his rotating of equipment and vehicles. And then of course the salaries, we're still waiting on those. And I stand for any questions. I know that was kind of a lot in a short little time and I talked super fast. But I will have more of an in-depth presentation with actual numbers of what we are going to submit to the state if you all approve it with our salaries and everything.
I have a quick one. In the lodger's tax, is that operational expense? Is that just how we decide to spend lodger's tax?
So with lodger's tax, it's very restrictive on how much you can use, like the percentage of it. So I believe 60% of it has to go towards marketing and advertising and
Sure.
promotions. And then the other ones would be for, travel training, office supplies, other like operational expenses and stuff, and of course the salaries.
Okay.
And she's asked for, and I know some people were here, but she's asked for a full-time employee and is looking into that now, right, the job description. And they would work from Thursday through Tuesday, I think she said, because that way they could keep the visitor center open 7 days a week.
Yes.
And we've had a goal to do that for a long time.
And I also really want to involve them more in the lodger's tax reporting that we do to the state, so we're all on the same page. And Tammy's already picked up on it very well. I'd like to see Tammy take on more of the like manager stuff of that, and then have someone there in the office and kind of doing that more of an administrative stuff.
So Kim, in most cases, is this, revenue projected for 12 months?
Correct.
Okay.
That would be from July 1st to June 30th of 2024.
And the budget meeting, I don't know that we've actually 100% announced that.
Yeah, so we'll be having our final, special budget meeting next Tuesday at 3:30 here. And that's where we'll have all the in-depth, you'll all be able to look at the salary schedule, the debt schedule, the exact amounts that we, are anticipating for payroll, and to tie up any of the other loose ends that we're still waiting on.
Because the budget's, the first part is due.
Yeah, interim
June 1st.
budget, yeah, with council approval, then it would be, needs to be uploaded to the state website by June 1st.
At 3:30, to be sure that they get it approved before it goes to state.
I'll send something out to remind you all.
And I do plan to send you it all before this weekend of what I'll be talking about, so you can look through it, kind of research it, not 2 minutes or 3 minutes past the meeting start time. So you can really dig in and get some questions together, and I'll be prepared to answer those for you all at that time.
So that's the 30th.
Correct.
And Bill's gonna call in, he'll be gone.
Okay.
We've already discussed that.
Okay. When I'm hoping to have everything, visible, so you'd be able to look on your tablets. I know last year was kind of hard with the itty bitty prints and trying to navigate through it, so I'll try and make it as
Is there a
user
possibility of getting it on the screen?
Yeah, we could probably do that.
We work on that, so.
There's a projection screen in the
Maybe.
room.
Yeah, I can definitely look into that and work with
Try to
you.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Any questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The committee report is the spring cleaning. I don't believe there's any other ones. We'll get right into old business. The first is discussion approval of ordinance amendment to village/code. This is the second reading. It is a public hearing. I open it up as a public hearing. And I turn the floor over to Chief Bobbitt.
Thank you. So Slash has been moved over to the fire department. That's why the change. The attached proposed change to the village reflects those changes and clear up some of the verbiage. I did clear up some of the verbiage secondary to last time. Definitions were changed to reflect the code rules. Date of operation was changed to better accommodate the weather. Verbiage was changed to clear up any confusion. And transfer station was removed and replaced with slash pit or fire station 3, depending on the definition. So the definition 4.3.3 was changed to slash, which is waste generated from cleanup of forested areas of your yard. And then 4.3.11, which kind of spells out the whole slash program. I will read any of the ones that were changed. So A remained the same. B, the program for slash pickup is active from April 1st, weather dependent, until October 1st, weather dependent. And then F, pine needles are not a part of the slash program. Pine needles should be brought into the transfer station where they will be disposed of for a fee. H, contaminated loads are anything that is brought into the fire department that are not part of the slash program, including but not limited to rocks, dirt, trash, etc. Contaminated loads will not be accepted as part of the slash program. Contaminated loads brought into the transfer station will be charged for the full load, not just the contamination in the load. And then J is any thinning before, after beginning, and shut-off dates must be kept inside the lot of origin. All thinning that is being called in for village pickup should be completed and called in before October 1st, weather dependent. Anything placed in the right of way after that will be considered a violation. L, all contractors doing slash removal or thinning in the village limits are required to have a charge account with the Village of Angel Fire. M, if suitable location for slash placement cannot be determined by the fire department, the slash must be transported by the property owner or private contractor to slash pit. N, slash pickup, slash resultant from the property owners contracting for slash removal, wildfire reduction or other such thinning project will be set by an annual policy originating from the fire chief and approved by the village manager. The policy must be published no later than March 1st of each year. Amendments to the policy shall be published a minimum of 45 days prior to implementation and enforcement. O, contractors transporting slash at the fire station 3 shall provide proof of contract with the property owner, which includes the location, address of work performed. And P is depending on the size of the pile and condition of the land, on-site shipping may occur with the slash pile. This will be discussed with the property owner prior to any chipping taking place.
Is there any questions or comments from the public? No? Can I close this public hearing? Are there any questions from the council? No? Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Then I need a motion first, please.
Make a motion for discussion and approval of an ordinance amendment to village/code.
Second,
Second.
shall we have a vote, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Billingsley,
Aye.
Councilor Curry,
Aye.
Councilor Howe,
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, we have the new business, which is a discussion approval of budget adjustment request. Is there a motion, please?
Make a motion for discussion approval of ordinance amendment to, discussion approval of budget adjustment request.
A second,
A second.
and we'll turn the floor back over to Kim.
And council. So this budget adjustment is in regards to a match that we needed to pay for the LTAP project. It was not budgeted, was not given the information until we got the invoice. I met with Richard and Julie both, and Richard did have a surplus in one of his line items. I believe it was for cinders or one of the road things. And we do need to get it paid. It was due a couple months ago. In order to move the budget to pay that invoice, and it's because it's going between two different funds, it does require council approval as well as state approval before we move that over and get the invoice paid to New Mexico DOT. Next time for any questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Call for a vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Billingsley,
Aye.
Councilor Curry,
Aye.
Councilor Howe,
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next, we have to go into executive session for NMSA 10-15-1H2 for limited personnel matters. Is there a motion, please?
Go ahead. All right. I make a motion to go into executive session for NMSA 10-15-1H2 limited personnel matters.
Second.
Then I call this executive session in order.
Not me, him.
We need a motion to come out of the executive session per NMSA 10-15-1H2 limited personnel matters. And I call
Make a motion to come out of executive session as per NMSA 10-15-1H, limited personnel matter.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I call the executive session closed. Nothing was discussed other than what was on the agenda. And I need a motion to affirm disciplinary action.
I make a motion to affirm disciplinary action.
Second,
Second.
and we call for a vote on the affirmation.
Mayor Pro Tem Billingsley,
Nay.
Councilor Curry,
Aye.
Councilor Howe,
Nay.
Councilor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion not carried.
And if there's nothing else, we call this meeting adjourned.